Okay, pre-algebra lesson 3.1, chapter 3, we are starting decimals. So what we've done with chapter 2, chapter 1, we're going to now do the same steps with decimals. Okay, so we start with figuring out what a decimal is. Okay, so we use a decimal system, and it is based on the number 10. Okay, so what that means is that any number in our number system can be written using the digits 0 through 9. Okay, when you get to double digits, you're just putting 1 in each place. Okay, so in the decimal system, each decimal place is 10 times the value of the place to its right. Okay, so the value of each digit depends on its position. Okay, so we can use our place values, right? So if we start looking, we have a decimal place, okay? To the left, we have the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the 10 hundreds, then let me try this again. So the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, then the 10,000s, the 100,000s, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, okay? To the right of the decimal, you don't have a ones place, okay? So essentially you have these same place values, except you have a THS on the end. So you have the tenths place, the hundredths place, the thousandths place, right? And every one of them is 10 times the one to the right. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and so on, okay? You're going to multiply the number to the right by 10 to get the next digit. So with decimals, we can write them out in words, we can write them in expanded numeral, or we can write them as a decimal itself. Okay, so in words, I would say 3,000, 700, 23, and 635 10,000ths. So the key with decimals is usually the and tells us we have a decimal point. Okay, so before that I have 3,000, right? So 3,000, I put my comma after it. 700, so the 7 goes in the hundreds place. 23, 20 means 2 is in the tens and 3 is in the ones. Then, and there's that decimal, okay? 635 10,000ths. So the 5 has to go in the 10,000th place. Okay, so it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So here's the 5. Then it says 35 and 600. So we have this space here because the 5 needs to be in that 10,000ths place. So I need to put a 0 because I don't have 1,000 10,000ths. Okay, so 0, there's 635 10,000ths. Right, so that's in words. This would be decimal. And then expanded numeral. Okay. An expanded numeral just means you take your decimal and write it out as if each place value is being multiplied by the value that it's in. Okay, so 300 means that we have 3 times 100 because the 3 is in the hundredths place. Then we're going to add 50. So the 5 is in the tens place. We don't need to write out 0, right? You'd only put 1 there if, or the ones, you'd only put a 1 multiplication if you had a digit in the ones place. Then you go to your decimal. So 6 is in the tenths place. So that would be 1 over 10 plus 9 is in the hundredths place. So 1 over 100. So I'm in expanded form. You can go back and forth between all of these. Okay, so in expanded form, 7 times 1,000 plus 4 times 100 plus 1 times 10 plus 5 times 1 plus 6 times 1 over 100 plus 8 times 1 over 1,000. Okay, to figure this out as a decimal, I'm going to do this multiplication. So 7 times 1,000 is 7,000 plus 4 times 100 is 400 plus 1 times 10 is 10 plus 5 times 1 is 5 plus 6 100ths plus 8 1,000ths. All right, and then we're going to simplify even more and do that addition. So 7,000 plus 400, 10 plus 5 plus 6 100ths, 8 1,000ths. So we get 7 comma 415.068. Okay. All right. You can also compare decimals just like whole numbers. To compare, we use our inequalities. So less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and even the equal sign. Okay? So remember, it points to the smaller and it's open to the bigger. So when you're comparing decimals, you start from the left on your numbers, okay? And you identify the first place where the digits are not equal. okay? Then you simply compare the unequal digits. Just like you would compare whole numbers. So I want to compare 5 and 2 thousandths. So 5.002. Compare that to 5 and 2 hundredths. So 5.020. Okay, so I start from the left. So the first digit is a 5 on both of them. Those are equal. Then I have my decimal. Okay. Then I go to the next digit. I have a 0. Those are equal. Then I go to the next digit. On the left I have a 0, but on the right I have a 2. So 0 is bigger than 2. Or not 0 is bigger than 2, sorry. 2 is bigger than 0. So that means 5.02 is bigger than 5.002. Okay? So that is 3.1.